Welcome, Meteor fans. Oops, I screwed that up. I'll have to edit this. This episode is for Friday, December 19th, 2014. Welcome, Meteor fans. I'm your host, Josh Owens, along with my co-host,
Rye Walker.
Welcome to the show, Rye.
Thank you.
So this week, it's been another jam-packed week of news. So I actually had trouble narrowing down what we're going to talk about. Minutes off the presses, we're going to talk about Meteor 1.0.2 being released.
Yep.
Template level subscriptions from Sasha. It's always a good blog post coming out of there. What is Meteor? Blazing fast Meteor package search, and server-side routing for SEO purposes. So before we get into all that, we'll just talk quickly about the sponsors. So Modulus.io, you should go check them out. They are still the single best hosting solution for a Meteor app right now. So go to Modulus.io. They've got a code there for you to use, discount code you can put in, Meteor Podcast. It'll give you a $25 credit. Definitely worth it. They have all the options you need to host your app there. And they've added a lot of great stuff in the last month or two, so give them a check out there, Modulus.io. And then the other one is Codeship.io as well. And you can go to Codeship.io/Meteor Podcast, and they've got a coupon code, Meteor Podcast, all one word, and you'll get 20% off any paid plan for 3 months. And they do some awesome work there for continuous deployment type stuff, continuous integration, so you can run your tests there. You can tell it to deploy to your servers. It's got integration points, so it can detect when your code's been updated from GitHub. It's pretty awesome. I'd also check them out. Again, that's Codeship.io/Meteor Podcast. So, all that. And Patreon.com/Meteor Club. We don't have anyone new that signed up this week, but if you want to be a supporter of the podcast or any of the other stuff that I'm doing, feel free to go there and join. Again, we're having a lot of fun conversations in the Slack chat room, so that's pretty awesome. All right, so Meteor 1.0.2, have you installed it yet, Ryan?
Yeah, I did. I actually have. I was upgrading Assistant.io to Meteor today, to Meteor 1 today, and it popped up. I'm like, may as well go to 1.02. I didn't know what it did, but I accepted it.
Yeah. So I think the major pieces here are that we now have a command called Meteor Shell, which is essentially an IRB now.
Yeah.
So you can totally drop into server-side node code in a kind of an IRB type situation and start running lines of code, which is pretty awesome. Big fan of that.
Yeah. Have you tried running Meteor Shell yet?
I have not. I have not upgraded any apps to 1.0.2. I went and had a long lunch with some beers and came back here and got ready to do this. So
Yeah.
That was my afternoon.
I'm doing it right now. It works.
Nice. Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
Looks like you have to run Meteor. I try to just go straight Meteor Shell the way Rails console used to work. But you actually have to start Meteor in a different window, and then you can Meteor Shell.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're using some kind of debugger under the covers. I'd be curious to really tear into that code. That'd be fun.
Make sure what I said is true.
The other thing that came with this is speed for your development environment. So they've done a lot of work on the package resolver, I guess it would be, and they're not actually hitting Atmosphere or ISO build every time that you're restarting the app. So I know in the notes that I was looking at, they had a thread on GitHub that you can go look at where they were kind of talking about the release candidate, and a lot of the people were reporting order of magnitude improvement on speed. So looked pretty impressive. So
Yeah, I mean, my app starts. I was never one of a big complainer. I definitely know it's slower to start apps than it used to be. Meteor '07 or '06. I mean, it was definitely faster to start, but it's all right. I can't really tell that it's starting a lot faster right now, so I don't know what the speed up is, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's acceptable.
Yeah, it was really bad when I think the last '09 version came out, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and definitely like 1.0, it was bad. It was slow.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they've committed to that. All right, next up, template level subscriptions.
Yes, template level subscriptions is a nice blog post by Discover Meteor. Describes really it's a deep dive into publications and subscriptions in Meteor. So I think it's a pretty good early tutorial for if you're learning Meteor. You can jump in and understand again what collections, publications, and subscriptions are and how that works, and how that affects reactive variables, and that kind of stuff. So it's I haven't gone through the tutorial personally, but it's long and detailed. So
So I think the interesting part of it is the fact that he's making the subscription calls like right in the template rather than in Iron Router, which is maybe different than what we see most people talking about.
Yeah.
And he uses ReactiveVar to kind of track what's loaded and what's not to kind of give you that more Gmail-ish feel, like little pieces of components rendering on the page rather than waiting for the whole page to be done.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I think we're doing that. We're doing some subscriptions. Let me think. Yeah, we're definitely in user cycle. We're definitely doing subscriptions outside of the routes, but I think what we're doing there. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to say like you can do subscriptions in places that are not the route too.
Right.
So kind of a neat study in that.
Yeah. Well, I think the key here is like outside of the wait on, right? Like most people will put their subscriptions in the wait on, but there's actually a little known what do you call it? Argument you can pass to Iron Router, and you can pass it subscriptions, and it won't wait on those, but it will still subscribe to them as part of the route. So there's a lot of different ways to do this.
Yeah. Yep. So again, another great post here that if you need to level up your Meteor, it's a great way of really understanding, from another angle what publications and subscriptions are and how they work.
Yeah, definitely. I would say if you're new, go read all of Sasha and Tom's blog posts. They're always like high quality.
Yes. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Next up was actually my blog post. I wasn't going to put this in here, but if you haven't seen it yet, what is Meteor.js? You can go to my blog or go to Crater and you can find the post. But the one thing I want to say about it, number one, like Nick Wintage did an amazing job on that graphic. I have it right here. Like, so if you go to the post and you look, like here's what I sketched and sent to Nick, and then he sent me that other thing back, and it looks so much better. So he did a great job, and that was awesome. And a ton of people helped me out editing that post, so thanks to them, Sasha, and some of the people in the chat room, the Meteor Club Slack chat room. But the basic is, there's a nice infographic that kind of shows you how the different parts of Meteor interact, and when you type Meteor run, what's actually happening under the covers. That's really what I wanted to show. And then I kind of dive into the components and what they are, and then show you, if you went out and did this yourself with Node or something else, then, what kind of things are you going to have to glue together to kind of get a similar framework to do the things that you can do with Meteor. And so I really wanted to kind of compare and contrast on that point. So that was the gist of the post there, and it hit Hacker News today. It seems to be in the on the front page still right now, so if you're watching this live, you should go upvote it and maybe throw in on some comments. There's definitely some Hacker News trolling going on in there. I decided to troll back, so I'm having some fun with it.
Yeah. Yep, 71 comments so far. It's number 51 right now, so it's fallen off the front page. So
you go vote it, people. Go vote.
Yes. Yeah. That's not cheating, is it?
No, I don't think so. Whatever. Like, I didn't even. So I tried to post it, and then it got like. Apparently, I asked 2 or 3 of my friends to vote, and then his voter ring got dropped. So I deleted it and just thought, whatever, I give up on Hacker News. And like, I'm at lunch and I get a tweet and it's like, hey, you're on the front page of Hacker News. Good job.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have to force it, you know. Sometimes just let it happen.
Yep. Apparently, patience. That's my lesson for the week.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump to the next topic. Blazing fast Meteor package search. So someone threw up something called fastosphere.meteor.com, blazing fast Meteor package search powered by Algolia, which apparently is a search service, a real-time search service. Is this a Meteor product, I wonder? Do you know anything about this guy, this Algolia?
I actually had not heard of it until here. Algolia.
Yeah, I'm checking it.
Hosted cloud search as a service. So
it looks like it's basically a nice little demo of their technology using what is a known kind of a problem. They must at least be interested in Meteor enough to have gone to Atmosphere and felt the slow search pain, or they're just opportunistic and
recognize. Well, this was put together by someone in the community. So I don't think it was put together by anyone at Algolia.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say it would have been a really smart demo for them to have done that themselves, don't you think?
Oh yeah, totally. But they do. I mean, one of the things that they tag here, their tagline is "Build real-time search." A powerful API built for developers. They deliver relevant results in your mobile apps and websites from the first keystroke. So
this is a testament to, if you cache things that you search on, search is faster, apparently, rather than going live in a database.
Yeah. So the interesting thing here is, this is been open source, which I think is amazing, right? And actually, it's pretty good. It's definitely zippy. And they've done a decent job at the UI. Like, there's not a lot of color, there's not a lot going on, but they're showing you the number of stars for the project on GitHub, which I think is maybe slightly more relevant than the number of stars that people have arbitrarily put on Atmosphere. I don't know.
Yeah, it can be. Are they sorting it by that, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like they are.
Maybe. Actually, it looks like no, not alphabetically. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's by stars. That's good. Well, no, it's not totally. It's basically if there's 2 levels. If it's in the name of the package, those are automatically on the top, sorted by stars, and then they search the description, and then they sort.
I think these are done by download, but I think there's a correlation between downloads and number of stars.
Yeah.
For a lot of non-core packages would be my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of results too. It's doing fuzzy search, which is kind of interesting as well. It's not doing like synonyms. That'd be pretty badass. But like, I search for blog. I search for blog, which is one of my packages, and I get log and like.
But I think you can search for brog, right? And it's doing doing some suggestion there based on you mistyping the word.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting as well.
That's funny. Funny you should choose brog. That's a.
Well, it's just one letter off from blog. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, gosh, I'm probably gonna say his name wrong. I'm trying to find it here again. He goes by Ace MTP on here. Vienne Lecroart.
Yeah, he's
said that
two hard names.
Yeah. I think he's from France, but I think he said they just sat down one evening, him and his brother, I believe, and really just kind of hacked this together. The biggest thing to me though is kudos to you for open sourcing this, right? Like, why is it on this, this core piece of our infrastructure around Meteor? Why is it that Atmosphere is not open source? Why do we have these problems? Why are we dealing with lagginess and bugginess? Like, there are a number of people that want a project to work on, and I guarantee you they would jump in on this project in a heartbeat. But none of us can see that.
Yeah, well, I think that, number one, it'd be great if, it'd be great if Atmosphere adopted this technique, right? Because it's open source, so you can literally go in and grab it and throw it in there, and boom, Atmosphere's faster. Or this could be expanded by the community to be an alternative to the current Atmosphere, which is kind of fracturing, which isn't great, but at the same time, I think the community does want Atmosphere to be open source, and it'd be nice if it was, and we can help all work together to solve problems within it, since it's a core part of the experience. Maybe Percolate has the goal to do some other things with the code base. That's okay. Keep the code. I mean, you could just, I don't know. It's tricky. Problem is.
So I'll say they put out a FAQ this week. My guess is actually in response to this coming out, right? Like, a lot of people are saying, where's the source? Why can't we do this? And so the FAQ says, we haven't open sourced it because we may want to do something commercial with the code base.
Yeah.
My response to that would be, number one, I don't think I'm not sure what commercial thing you're going to do with the code base.
It could be outside of Meteor. It could be like, hey, better. I don't know. Like, again, I mean, I guess they'll explain that as time goes on. But the point is, I think there are probably people that will go search on Fastosphere now rather than Atmosphere for those two reasons. Number one.
Yeah, I probably will. I mean, Atmosphere looks pretty, but functionally, it just doesn't quite get it done all the time for me. Sitting there. Maybe this is like the biggest of first world problems, right? Like, I'm sitting there for 20 seconds waiting for my search results to come back. But at the same time, when I do a big query, it does take a while before things show up. So it's definitely not awesome. The biggest thing I would say is there are a number of businesses out there that exist. You can look at Thoughtbot with their Hound project, and that's completely open sourced, and they still have a commercial venture behind it. So, this is not a crazy thing. You look at Meteor itself, it's open sourced, but there's a commercial venture that's going to be coming out of it. So, I, again, say to Tom and the Percolate team, let's not be that single point of failure. Let's open source this. Let's get this out there for the community. I think only good things can come of it.
Yeah. Well, again, first thing in would probably be someone merging this project into it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's next topic.
Get off my high horse. All right. Last up is the server-side routing for SEO purposes. So, good old Airnoda, the Airnodas. He's been doing some work on Meteor SSR, and I think it's good. I'm glad to see he's pushing the envelope there. I definitely feel like this is something that's gonna come later from Meteor Core, our Meteor Development Group, and I'm definitely, the other interesting thing is I'm starting to sense this growing frustration with the speed of MDG. There's now this open but secret GitHub that's going on where people are talking about forking Meteor, but I'm glad to see he's definitely pushing the envelope here and trying to do interesting things. There's two packages that you can add to go down this path. It's Meteor Hacks SSR and then Meteor Hacks Picker, and I think it replaces Iron Router on the server. This Picker does. So you kind of have to get both wired up together to get it working. So you're essentially going to be building templates. You got to put them somewhere shared, and then you have to use those for Iron Router on the client side, and then you'd use Picker to kind of compile those templates on the server side. So I think this doesn't quite feel like the right solution still, but I'm glad that he's doing work here. I think the right solution, and I know that Chris and Aeronoda have talked about it, but the right solution to me is, if we could figure out a way to get Iron Router to handle this, then we don't have to make, multiple routes and like moving the templates around to handle that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I it's interesting. Like, I'm reading about why not you just keep using Phantom.js, and he says that the solution works well. He mentions that Phantom.js isn't available on cloud hosting service like Modulus, which I disagree with.
Yeah, that's totally not true.
Yeah, it runs an older version of JavaScript, so it might not be like I've not had any problems with that. And I also don't have any problems with the search engine hits like spiking my CPU necessarily. I have had problems in the past where it didn't seem like
fancy. Crater.
Yeah. Okay. You have had some issues.
Yeah, but I think that was more of a DigitalOcean issue. The other problem there is, like, I think when 10 to 12 Google bots come in at the same time, that seems to be how Google works.
Yeah.
You're spinning up 10 to 12 Phantom.js issues, and to me the issue was ultimately the fact that Meteor was just spawning Phantom.js for 10 to 12 times, and then it was chewing up the memory, and I didn't have swap on the box initially, and it spiked the box and killed it. And so the right move, I moved it to a 1 gig slice and then threw swap on it, and I've had zero problems out of it since then.
Yeah, and so the last one he said about Phantom.js, which I will agree with, is that sometimes you see errors on the server log, and it just stops logging stops putting out the HTML, and that's hard to debug. I'll concur with that. However, I haven't really seen that problem. I haven't personally seen that problem in months. But
do you monitor for it, right?
Well, usually, like when you go to the log, if no, you don't. I'm not monitoring for it, but I used to like pop into Modulus and look at the log file and see like these Phantom.js errors, like what the fuck's going on with that, and then you check the search engine and you see, oh crap, like the SEO is jacked up because Phantom.js
right. But for me, like with Crater, that was a 2.5 month process.
Yeah.
So
it's still a problem. You're saying it's still a problem.
Yeah. That one is definitely a problem, and I think you could fix the package for that. And the other problem that he maybe didn't talk about is really the speed, right? So Google ranks you based on the speed of your site, and the speed is definitely a factor. Excuse me, when you think about the fact that you're spawning a Phantom.js process when you see the agent header, and then you're grabbing the HTML, and then you're bringing that HTML back, and then shipping that up from the Meteor server to the client, like there's definitely some speed, slowdowns involved in there, and that I think that is a core consideration. So to me, the two are, the errors and then the speed, because those do definitely affect your SEO quite a bit.
Yeah. So now we have, with this opportunity from Aeronoda, there's do I deal with the possibility of running out of memory on my server, or do I have an alternate router on the server and like extra packages that I need to learn? So yeah, it'd be great if really just get another package instead of Spiderable, or instead of Phantom.js, I should say. Use MRT or Meteor install something else, and it'll be the replacement. That's where we need to get to, I think, for me to shift away from Phantom at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe the better solution would be to move to something where there's a little better handling. It can still use Phantom.js if it needs to, but like let's throw some caching in there or something, like that could be interesting as well.
Yeah.
That could handle speed, and then just put some real air handling around this thing so that we can hook in notifications or emails or something. So I know when I didn't serve things up to Google or Facebook, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but definitely, again, an amazing experiment, Aeronoda.
Yeah.
Very impressive, and hopefully it's leading us into a better solution.
Yeah. My hope is, if nothing else, like this can be the precursor to work that the Meteor development group can look at and say, oh, hey, maybe we can do this, right? Oh, here we go. Sam's I'm getting bombarded. So Robert Brown wanted me to shout out to him. He's watching on YouTube, and then Sam sent me a link to someone made a cached spiderable package.
Nice.
I know what I'm going to be looking at tonight.
What's the? Can you paste that link in this chat here, or?
Yeah. It's CH Fritz spiderable. It's a minor modification. I'm putting it in the chat. And for those watching live, I will put it in the Google Plus page. Yeah. A minor modification of the spiderable package system with caching. This helps reduce the CPU load on the servers that serve a potentially large number of pages. It also drastically reduces page load time, which is essentially for SEO, which is a big deal. This is interesting.
I delete that line in my packages, put CH Fritz spiderable, and I am using it now. See how it goes.
Yeah. The only problem that I foresee here is, when thinking about something like Crater, we'll probably need a method to call to expire the cache. I see something in here about cache time, but I wonder if there's a way to hook in and say just auto expire the cache, when a new post is put onto the front page or something.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Well, I mean, it looks like you can set it to a day, or whatever. Default it says it's 30 days for caching, but you can change it to be an hour if you want.
Yeah. I don't know.
Page, yeah.
I don't know how often Facebook and Google and those guys are hitting the site, so finding that timing is going to be a little tough. And again, if they come along, I don't want to necessarily serve them stale data, but it might be it might be better to serve quick stale data than slow, relevant, real-time data.
Yeah, something like Creator, which will eventually have 100,000 URLs, right? As time goes on and Meteor becomes dominant in the world. It's a different problem than someone who's got 10 public URLs. So
that is very true, right? Yeah. So I could see absolutely putting this into user cycle because you guys just care about the marketing side there for SEO purposes.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, good talk.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't noticed yet, we're gonna start doing these things live on Friday, usually around 3:30 or 4, and then they'll get posted up Monday afterwards. So if you want to see the thing live, join in. We'll have Q&A stuff kind of going on right at the end. I'll check. I forgot to say something ahead of time. But we'll definitely maybe take questions at the end of the next one, which won't be until... Ooh, can you do January 3rd?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll take January 2nd. We'll take Christmas off, and then we'll resume in the new year.
Awesome.
So enjoy your holiday break, everybody, and if you haven't yet, be sure to check out patreon.com/Meteor Club, and if you want to see another podcast, we've got a goal on there. Let's get it going. All right.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye.